Bare necessities or Mother Nature's recipes that bring.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of all genders, welcome to a Mise Podcast. This is Chef.
What's up?
I am Oleg. And this is Mike. And this is the Mise Podcast. Welcome to episode 12.
What's up, guys? Episode 12, Stories from the Dish Pit. How's everybody doing? How was everybody's week? We
Good
always
times.
start off
Good.
with that. Did you have a good week? We had a good weekend.
Yeah, we had a great weekend.
We had a great weekend, man. We went
People
out.
stopping me and telling me that I'm a chef and asking me how's the food.
We were at an event, and people were asking Mike Spade, so what do you think about
Guys,
what do you think about the food?
I don't know how many times I have to say this. I am not a chef. I play one on the internet.
So Mike is the prime example of a chef coat makes you a chef, I guess.
All right.
See, that goes to say, just because they look like a slut, they're not a slut.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Just
so,
because he looks like a chef, he's not a chef.
Never judge a book by its cover, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
it.
basically. In
Yeah, well-
nicer terms.
Well, that gets into that. That'll get us into a good topic. Never judge a book by its cover. Where we're going to touch base on mental health in the industry. But first, I want to give a couple of shout outs real quick. So as always, big shout out to Reds. Reds Barkers on Arthur Kill Road. The meanest Barkers on Staten Island. If you don't know why, go check it out. They even got potatoes now. But a really cool stand, really cool spot. So make sure you go check out Red. She's always a big supporter of us. Buddy CC, Christopher Pierce Entertainment.
And one of our newer sponsors, Throttle Junkies from Long Island, 19 West Industry Court, Suite B in Deer Park, New York.
That's Sweet B, as in badass. Just in case anybody didn't understand B or D, it's B.
Thanks,
man.
everybody, for all your support.
Absolutely. Thanks to all the subscribers so far. We're at a stalemate, but we'll pick up. Hey, it is what it is, and we don't do this for anybody else really, but about ourselves.
Yeah.
Tonight we want to touch base on a little bit of on mental health, and I think this episode we decided that we're gonna dedicate it to a friend of ours that a friend of a lot of us that passed away. I think it was 5 years ago today due to some issues and so forth.
He would have been 55 today.
Would have been 55 today, Carmine. And so shout out to you, shout out to your family. We remember you, bro. Much love and all that. But he was a pizzaiola, man, and I think that's one of the biggest things in this industry is mental health.
Yeah.
And how it's changed over the years and things like that. But again, you really don't know what somebody's smile is hiding, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Behind them is how does it? I mean, I know I've dealt and still do with mental health issues, and I always got a battle between a couple of people going on upstairs and things like that. And you got to try to figure out how to just get through that. I guess I do it I do it by myself and just figure that out with help from friends and things like that. We all talk all the time, but it's a big battle in the industry. I don't think anybody realizes the battle all over the place. Mental health, especially, and I don't want to say that, but nowadays it's even more pronounced as it was back then. But
I don't know, the way I was raised in the industry, that you just had to get through your shift. Whatever you had to do, whether it be crying to walk in, complain about your day to your friends, or whatever it may be, but you just had to get through your shift, then go afterwards, enjoy your night out, hug your loved ones, your bartender, whatever it may be, and just do whatever you got to do in order to recharge your brain and then continue on with the next day. Now, it's completely different.
Not to cut you off, but the industry has completely changed. And like you said, we just got through the day.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. We dealt with our own problems. I've cursed at so many people on the friggin' line. What are you yelling at me for? How fast? How much faster you want me to move? And everything's always, the funny thing is, everything's always 2 minutes. If you're behind on, what are you drinking, sangria?
Old fashioned.
Oh, an old fashioned. He's an aristocrat.
Oh.
And Oleg, that's how Oleg deals with his mental health through culinary old fashions. Now known as mechanic's grease nowadays because he's a mechanic. But yeah, I think we just got through the day. And you got through your rush and you fought with people on the line and but I don't think there was nothing ever behind it. If I'm cursing at you to get something out, especially if I'm leading, because we know Expo wins. Expo, if nobody knows what Expo is, that's the guy that calls the shot. That's the guy on the other side of the pass. The pass is the line. You have your chefs and your cooks behind one side. Your Expo and your runners are on the other side. That's the pass in the window. and your expo runs the show. So yeah, you can't get mad at people for screaming at you or yelling at you. That's the integrity of the business. That's what it is. That's
the
what
industry
we came up with.
that I got into 20 plus years ago was you could scream anything fucked up, sexist, homophobic, racist, or anything.
Didn't matter.
Anything, it didn't matter to your other coworker, and they will scream the same shit back at you.
Well, that's because they didn't mean it. They didn't mean it.
They didn't mean it. At the end of your shift, you will hug it out and have a drink together.
Yeah, but you didn't get offended by it. I don't know if this is...
But now anything remotely you say gets you an HR visit.
Well, yeah. Well, now a lot. Yeah, so much has changed. We'll get into that as we get further. We have a list of questions and things of something that was posted. But you brought up to me. There's a. This is what's crazy about the industry is now that there's an actual website.
There are several websites, and there's one safe space and a place to be able to reach out to, which caters to the kids nowadays.
The kids, yeah.
Because this place, it's a great concept, but, it encourages you to hang up motivational posters in your job site that tell you different rules and things and tricks how to get through the day and how to make it easier and better.
Let me jump in real quick. So back in the day, coming up, at the end of a shift, I'd want to talk to my Sue or whoever my higher ups were and be like, "Yo, what can I do to be better? What did I do to piss you off? How did I screw that up? Tell me, what can I do to get better?" And this guy just screamed at me all friggin' night. And I mentioned in episodes before, I worked with one guy that wore a fucking mouthpiece and would clear the plates out of the fucking window. Just because it didn't come out his way or he was pissed or there was an adjustment asked for and ranch dressing wasn't rung in, But those are the people we worked with. And now, and that was the end of the day. And we figured it out. And what we did the next day was we showed up. There was no grudges held or anything. And we just came in and we did the same friggin' job that we've been doing repetitively for the past 6-8 months, however long. Now there's a phone number that you could call and be like, "Hey, my chef yelled at me." My chef yelled at me. What can tell me how to make myself feel good about myself because somebody yelled at me for screwing up hours of a dish that he put in and I screwed it up going out. And he yelled at me and I got degraded and I don't get it. I don't get it.
Honestly, it's nice being cuddled and shit, and being babied, but at the same time, if you want to learn about something, you will never learn if you don't, the way you teach a dog by rubbing its face when it fucked up in something.
Like poop. Let it say it. When it's shit on the floor, you rub your face in it. And that's the old school generation.
But
we would do that. Now you can't do that. Now you have to have a conversation with your dog on how not to do that again.
And how
what did
it
I do,
makes
Scruffy?
you feel.
Right. How do you feel, Scruffy, that I just rubbed your face in the shit because you shit on my floor?
But that's the way I feel like it's really going to get through your head because, I don't know, that's the way I was raised, that in order to do something, you got to see the evil of your ways. You see why you fucked up.
You took whatever was coming to you. But now you
gotta take your licks, whatever the fuck. If you fucked up, you gotta see why you fucked up.
And that's why I said there's 3 things. We said this before. Also, there's 3 things people can't say in a kitchen. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Well, we don't really say it was sorry. My bad. Yeah, my bad. I screwed up. That was on me. Who did this? That's the worst question to have to answer in the kitchen when you have to own up to something. But the biggest thing you could do is owning up to it.
Yeah.
So those are 2 of the biggest thing. And the third one, you know what I'm gonna say? Fucking Worcestershire sauce. Nobody can say that. Those are the 3 things people can't say in a kitchen. It was my bad. I screwed up. It's on me. And Worcestershire sauce are the 3ee things people can't say. And still, it's pretty accurate. But I just don't get it. I mean, it's just
a part of that is no matter what industry you come from. Right now in the mechanic industries, who fucked up the machine? Everybody's silent. I don't care who fucked it up. Nobody's getting in trouble. Just
admit we did it. And
admit you did it. Let's move on.
Now my biggest thing is now it's a team thing. Now one screws up, we all screwed up, and that's just how it is. So everybody's going to get in trouble for burning the fondant potatoes. You know, it's just as silly as that. But you got to hold everybody accountable for it, because now everybody needs, you know, you need a trophy for screwing up and coming in last. And I don't get it. And again, because I'm old school, I came up in the industry as grinding, as just getting yelled at, being degraded. I was degraded. You know, and I think every good cook was, and so forth. You know, you get beat up. You get beat up, and we didn't have these mental issues. This wasn't an issue. Getting yelled at by my superior was never an issue. Now you yell at somebody, oh my God, if I don't speak to somebody the right way, holy crap, it's 6 phone calls, 2 of this, and I'm not even running a real restaurant.
Like, I'm all about people being treated like people, you know? Like, you gotta treat humans like humans, but at the same time, you gotta be able to know when you fuck up. If you're not gonna get reprimanded for you fucking up, you will never learn.
How do you hold accountability if you're never gonna be able to admit to something you did? And I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's the first thing you learn in the kitchen is admit your flaws, man. Admit that you screwed up. Admit that you screwed this up. That's me. You know, 2 minutes, like I said, is the biggest thing whenever you're in the weeds or you're behind on something. How long on the fish? 2 minutes. It's not 2 minutes. That shit is still raw.
Yeah.
You know, but it's 2 minutes. How much longer on the fish? 2 minutes. Everything's 2 minutes, you know, but that's the generation that we have. You know, nowadays, you can't do that. It's like, well, why do you keep on asking? I just told you how long it was going to be. Why do you keep on asking? Are you kidding me? I got 13 tickets on the board. What do you mean? Why am I asking you? How else should I ask you how this was? Should I write you a letter?
Send me an email.
Like, what do you want? An email? Why is this fish taking so long? You screwed up the first one. How long is it going to be on this so I can let the guests know? No, screw that. Nobody wants to know your problems. Nobody gives a shit. We're cooks to begin with. You're going to get beat up. If you don't like getting beat up, then stay out of the industry. It's not meant for vaginas. Wait a second. Wait, there's women that work in there, but I'm not just saying it's not meant.
Vaginas take a lot of beating.
They do.
Wrong word to use. Just saying.
This is like the time when I mistakenly said, "Oh my God, I regret hiring a group of girls to work for me because you guys all sink." Oh my! Came around to bite me in the ass. I got in so much trouble for that.
Yeah,
but still, you know, hey, back in the day, you know, I mean, I didn't have a girls' team, but it just shows, you know, it's different.
It's a female brigade,
man. It's a female brigade. It's all run by females. I thought I was doing the greatest thing. Oh my God, that was so many mistakes. But you live and learn. But you know, one thing I didn't do when I did that.
You owned up to your
I didn't. I didn't go and see if I could call a phone number. I probably called Oleg and told him, "You're not going to believe what
was your phone number." To see you still called somebody.
You called someone. That's all that matters.
And look what happened. Man, but no, seriously, mental health is a big thing. And before we get into anything else, while we're on it, you have a list.
Yeah, I have the end of service checklist.
So we got a couple of other topics, but real quick, I think while we're just flowing, I want to get into this. So again, from this Burnt Chef website outlet from the UK, I think it's a great idea, man. It's great, especially nowadays. You have to adapt.
Because there's a lot of soft people and they need babying.
There's a lot of soft people. There is. I got into a fight with somebody over potatoes today on social media. It's mostly because I troll the shit out of things and I just like starting arguments, and some of them I'm just like, oh fuck, man, he's really got me on this one. So
all right,
I was gonna leave it. But anyway, we have, so there's this list of end of service things that you should do for your own mental health. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna be I'm gonna have things to say, but go ahead. Let's
fine. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is that I'm going to tell you something, and you guys are going to react to this. Ready? So, number 1, take a moment to think about today.
Now, this is at the end of a shift. So let's say this is the end of a Friday night. You've done a 12 to 14-hour shift. You probably didn't get a break. I don't know about nowadays, but I'm just going by what we would. So this is how I'm looking at it. So at the end of the day, I'm supposed to do what?
Take a moment. That doesn't sound too bad. It's like at the end of the day, it's like, all right, fuck it. I went through this. Let's do this. Let's go have a drink now.
All you have to do is take a moment to think about today.
It's a moment.
It is a moment. But when I'm done with the shift, the last thing I'm going to do is take a moment to think about what happened throughout the day. I want to close up, give me my drink, and then the drink that I'm paying for, whatever else you're going to give me on the closing, and that's how we're closing. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not reflecting.
So basically,
but today you have to do this.
Right. So basically, what you're saying is what you would have done is Fuck this. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yo, fuck you.
Fuck this,
Fuck
let's
you.
drink.
Fuck you. You're cool. You're cool. I'll see you tomorrow. You're still a dick. Let's do it again.
In today's day and age, going out with your coworkers and having good drinks and then
Is
It's
probably the worst
toxic
thing.
culture.
It's the worst thing you can do. It's toxic.
yeah,
It's toxic. You can't do that
The
today.
industry we grew up in is now considered toxic woke culture.
And you know why? Because I think today everybody is out to get everybody else.
Yeah.
And everybody's, even if you're in
Dog
the
eat dog.
industry, and you go out, I would never go out with anybody after work now. The shit we used to do back in the day, compared, you are out of your mind. The next day you gotta go
yeah,
in, even
with
if
all
I
the
wasn't a
cameras
manager.
now, all the evidence,
And
fuck
just
that.
just go. No way, bro. People are sitting there like, oh yeah, it's like it's like we do. Truth serum. Yeah, have some drinks. Sure. Yeah, tell me everything about your problems. And they're waiting to catch you. Why? Because now lawsuits happen real friggin' quick. You could sue anybody over anything. And God forbid, you call somebody wrong or you say something derogatory to them. There don't have to be no proof. You just said something derogatory for them. My feelings are hurt, and this is it. We were out drinking, and now we're gonna have a problem throughout the rest of the time we spend at the
So
restaurant.
wait,
What's your
you
next
could
question?
get in trouble. Hold on. You could get in trouble for saying things when you guys are out and about, not at work?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you're still with coworkers.
That's some bullshit.
Like at an office party and things like that, that's why you make sure if you're at an office party, you make sure to get all your higher ups fucked up. Like all the parties that I've ever,
I like this idea.
all the parties that I've ever been in, you make sure you get the CEO, all your head chefs fucked up, so that in case anything does come back, you have leverage, and you're.
Yes.
And like, oh, you want to throw shade? I'll throw back a tree.
And put all your conversations in email. And put all your conversations in email so you have a paper trail.
Nice.
Exactly.
All right. So, number
Next
2.
question.
Acknowledge one thing that was difficult and let it go.
Today, and now you let it go. You let today go.
So, who's going first? You or Chef?
I'm letting this go right now. This is my.
Oh,
one
you're
thing
letting
for
this
the day.
go?
I'm
What
letting
about
this
you?
go.
Yeah, he's being frozen, letting it go.
Okay, so he's letting it go. Okay, so we'll skip that. We're letting it go. We're going to number 3. Be proud of the service you gave today.
I can agree with that
Always.
one. I'm always proud of, like, I never want to come into work and not be proud of the work that I
Right.
put out because I want to be able to say that smile on the person's face because I cooked that dish.
Right, and the main thing is that nobody will ever really know, man. If you're a great kitchen, nobody will ever know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The guests should never. You should never see that. You should never hear that.
course,
if you hear
yeah.
people arguing in the kitchen, then just leave. It's a disaster to begin with. Things like that you should never hear. If the screw ups that we have going on back there, which are almost multiple, not screw ups, but just setbacks and hiccups and things like that, the guests should never feel that. So I agree with that, man. I agree with that 100%. If you get through a shitty service, just be proud you got through that shitty service because you got through it.
As a cook, your kudos is somebody not sending back a dish.
Right.
Because if your meal was eaten, that means everything you did
Was good.
and you did everything properly.
Also, and clean plates and not ordering dessert. I didn't care if you didn't order dessert because that means
There's always room for dessert.
Yeah, well, still, but if a clean plate came back and you didn't want dessert, then we did our job.
No, of
you
course,
filled
yeah.
up on the meal, so I don't need to give you the friggin' tartufo that everybody on the block is selling with the little cherry on top.
Got it. Okay, so number 4. Consider 3 things that went well.
There's some horse shit.
Yeah, that's bullshit, bro. You don't. I'm never gonna.
Wait, why
I'm not
is
really
that?
taking time to reflect on 3 things that went well.
3 things? How hard is that?
Because 97 things went wrong, and those are the things I'm gonna think about on how to fix tomorrow, man.
But that's tomorrow. You worry about that
No,
tomorrow.
yes,
You don't worry
absolutely.
about
No,
it now.
No, just like he dreams about the printer going off, and we all do. You think about what's gonna go
3
wrong tomorrow.
things that went well out of 100 plus covers that you did that shift. Come on, the fact that you pulled out 100 covers, that's 100 things that went well.
Yep,
think-
exactly. There
I
should be
think
100 things you think about.
I think the point of that one is to give you a positive outlook.
It's for self gratification
Yeah, that's exactly what it
the culinary
Give
industry
yourself
today.
a hug should be on the list.
You
too.
have to award yourself. Everybody gets a trophy for coming in second, and we know what second place is, right? It's just like
First
what?
loser.
The first loser, yeah, exactly.
It's like,
But that's the industry that we grew up in. You can't say that
but it
shit
is.
now.
No, it's not. You can't say that shit now. I'm not gonna get ridiculed for this, but that's just the way I think, man. I'm I'm an old head, bro. I'm an old head. I am. I don't agree with any of that. Why do you have to pat yourself on your back for doing your fucking job? Guy puts in a steel beam on a high riser. Do you think he's going back and reflecting on 3 things that worked well for him that fucking day? Oh, I didn't kill nobody 120 feet below me. No, get the fuck out of here. You want to get your job done and get the hell home, and you want to go drink, and you want to come back and do it again the next day. The same repetitive job that you did on Thursday, you're doing on Friday, just more volume. Saturday and Sunday, if you got brunch, screw you, and you shouldn't have it.
Nice. Okay. What did you say? Fuck brunch?
Fuck brunch.
Right. Okay. All right. So number 5, check on a colleague before you leave. Are they? Wait. There's more. Hold on. Check on a colleague before you leave.
Yeah. Hurry the
Are
fuck
they
up.
okay?
I wanna get out of here.
Are they okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Hurry up. What are you doing? Let's go.
We okay?
I think what we should do is we should print this list out and put it in the studio so that way after every podcast
They sell
we do-
posters.
Oh,
The Burn Chef
okay.
sells those as a poster.
Got it. Okay. So you guys don't care about asking the other person?
No,
Are they
I
okay?
don't really give a shit unless we're going out for drinks or whatever afterwards. That's
And at
fine.
that point, if they want to say
You know
something,
what
they
I-
say something.
You know what I care about? Show up for your shift tomorrow and make sure you do the job.
Nice.
That's
When
what I
we
care
go
about.
out for drinks, if you really had an issue with your shift, you will tell me that after a couple of
Right.
drinks. And if
Okay.
you didn't tell me you
Truth
had an
serum.
issue with your shift after a couple of drinks, then you didn't really have an issue.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So here's the last one. You ready? Now let me finish. Don't jump until I finish. Are you okay? Your senior team are here to listen and support you.
I am the senior team.
You don't want to hear anybody's complaints.
Yeah,
Stop. Even I know that, and I'm not a chef.
I've always been the senior team in the front line, and fuck those people.
Yeah, man. I don't know. If you got to come up. And the biggest thing I hate is like when I walk in and before I even get my jacket off, I have to talk to you. I'm like, no, you don't. You got to give me like 15 minutes, man. I just have to.
Yeah.
I have to take a look around. I have to. You know, what is that called? Process whatever's going on. Yeah, I'll make sure my cooks before anybody wants to talk to me about anything because 9 out of 10 times it's dumb. It's schedule or it's this person. This is what I deal with. It's this person said this and I didn't like the way they said it. So you have to wait until I come
So
in.
why
to
do you have
say
to
that
talk
to
to
me?
me? Go talk to the
What
person
do
and say you have a problem with that.
Well, you can't do that now
Why
because
not?
that's conflict, man. That's conflict.
Oh, that's
That's
some bullshit.
conflict. And if you're a manager, then that means you're not managing. These are the things you have to manage these days. It used to be Julio's drinking again in the walk-in box. Now it's, Francesca got insulted by, what JoJo said to her. And all he did was ask her if she could, roll an extra set of silverware. That's what the world's become. And then it's a whole new issue. Yeah, so I don't agree. And also the last thing I'm going to do when I go home, because I know it's on that fucking list, is reflect on my day or something like that. I know there's got to be a reflection on your day on
Oh
that
no,
list.
there's one more. Sorry, guys. Okay, so here's the last one. Ready? Now switch your attention to home. Rest and recharge.
There's some like yoga shit.
Facts. You all know my wife. You can ask her the first thing when I walk in the door. You ain't gonna fucking believe this. Swear to God. You're not gonna. You ready for this one? Have a seat. You
Poor
good?
Noreen. Poor Noreen.
I'll go.
No,
and I rant. I'll go
Maybe
on.
that's you, but when I always come home from a shift and there's loved ones present, they know to leave me alone for the duration of my first joint when I sit home on the couch.
Well,
And after the joint and after my mental health break,
yeah.
that's when I can deal with the rest of you.
That was the mental health break for us coming
Yeah.
home, and I should say that too. I come home and she could tell if I'm in a mood, just like anybody else can. You
Yeah,
guys
of
can
course.
too. If I'm fucking in a mood and just leave me alone, give me 20 minutes, let me yell at myself in private in the bathroom, and then smoke my joint, and then I'm still gonna tell you. But 9 out of 10 times, it's like
Exactly.
How is it now? She doesn't even ask. Hi, babe, and I say, no, don't say it. Don't ask me. Don't ask him how your day was. Don't say it. But yeah, man, that's a big thing. So mental health in the industry is a big thing, man. And the key thing is, you never know what's going on in that kitchen, and that's a great kitchen if you can't tell as a customer when we skip a beat or when you have a hiccup or something like that, or something gets screwed up, like the server doesn't ring in extra ranch and it doesn't come through the expo. But it's just little things like that that set you back, and all that. But mental health is still huge, man. It's big in our industry. So again, man, we'll put up that link to the link in the UK for the Burnt Chef. These are some of the things that are on the page. I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but in today's industry, this is how we do it. What's in your knife kit? Real quick before we end up, we got a few more minutes. What's in your knife kit? What do you go to? You have a big roll? You have a big knife roll that you roll out?
So normally when I'm at a kitchen, I do have a knife kit, and I have so I normally have at least a chef knife, a bread knife, a fillet knife, a bone knife, a paring knife, and a utility knife. As far as general knives go, anything else you could, for the most part, do with and a cleaver.
Cleaver. I love my cleaver.
You need a cleaver. You need a good cleaver every now and then.
I've given you a cleaver.
You did.
I did.
So you need a few of those, and then other than that, like I have things that will stop a bleeding, other like little
Bandages and stuff. Like
bandages.
Yeah,
I used to have essentially my own first aid kit within my knife roll, just in case things went south. They rarely ever did. I never had to use the shit that I packed in there, but when you did have to use it, like the blood stop powder that cauterizes things, but for the most part, you have your set of knives, and you have your sauce spoon, you have your thermometer, you have a couple pens with you, you have your tweezers.
Everybody always has that.
And you have your offset spatula.
You have to have
The
the
offset
offset
spatula.
spatula. You need like 3 sizes. I
Yeah.
have 3 sizes. I'm not very good at baking at all, but I do use my offset spatula every once in a while. But I have a decent knife roll. Bunch of things that I don't use in them. I use 3 knives. It's either 4 substitutes. So I have my 8-inch chef knife or my cleaver that I use, my boning knife, and my paring knife. Those are the only knife I can do everything with those 3 knives I need to. The rest of it is really just showman almost in a way. You open it up.
Bread knife is something you really need a bread
offset
knife.
bread knife or straight.
Offset bread knife, you can use a sandwich knife, and you can use that both for breaking down fruit like
Cantaloupes,
cantaloupe,
peeling,
pineapples,
they're
anything.
great for that.
It's great
Great
because
for
it's a
that.
flexible
Yep.
blade. You can bend around the curves. It's great for that. But realistically, you just need a few blades that you're gonna either keep sharp and keep it in your or they need to be high end that will stay sharper longer.
I hate people that bring high-end shit to work, man. Don't do that. It's just a flex. Don't do that. 9 out of 10 places have knives that you could use and you could beat them up, unless you're doing fancy work, or anything.
I've worked at jobs that had guys that have been there for 20 years that have one knife.
Yep, that's it. The whole
And
knife.
they
Don't
will
fucking
have,
touch it.
and they will have that one. It was always a fucking scimitar. It was like something that you can invade a homeland and break down an animal.
It was on like
do
Joseph and the
vegetable-
Argonauts.
Yeah.
It's the same knife they used.
Yeah, it was the same knife, but they made use of it
And it's
because
great.
they knew that knife.
And part of the blade is this thin, then you get to the tip and it's
Exactly,
this thin.
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Yeah, my knife, 3 knives. That's all I really need. I have my tweezers and of course my tasting spoons. I always carry
course,
my
yeah.
spoons with me. Somebody put up a meme the other day, and I know we all do it. And it was a chef, and he was sitting there, and he was taking a sauce, and he tasted it. And he puts salt in it and goes to taste it again. And before he puts the same spoon in it, he stops. And then he looks above his shoulder, and there's Matthew McConaughey as Jesus with the cigarette, just like. But he's like, "I'll change the spoon."
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Well, guys, that's all I really got. I think we have a ticket coming in. There's always a ticket. Always one ticket. Every time before we go to close up, there's always a fucking ticket that comes in. You suck. You probably know the owner.
And
so, ladies and
today's
gentlemen,
ticket
it's tips
sponsor-
with Oleg. What's just a tip with Oleg today?
So today's tip with Oleg is a double tip in.
Oh, it's a double whammy
It's a
today?
double tip.
It's a
Oh,
double,
boy.
it's a double whammy, kind of in the
boy.
same
Two
topic.
tips are better than one.
Again, in the memory of Carmine, to tip about pizza.
Hey, Carmine.
So, two ways of reheating pizza so that it's not floppy and soggy. Because one of the things you always hate is when you reheat a pie that you had the night before, and you come and now it's lost all its body. It's completely soggy. So, two tips. First tip: if you are trying to reheat a slice of pizza in the microwave, and you don't want it to be floppy, what you do is you put a cup of water inside the microwave, and what the water does, it sucks out all the added moisture from the pizza, and it breaks it down and lets it cook properly and reheat, and the bottom will actually come out more crispy than it would have been without a cup of water.
Very nice. Very nice. What's the part two?
And part two, if you want to reheat the pizza on a stove, and you have either a regular frying pan or a cast iron pan, what you do is low heat, cover it, and just slowly cook it like that, and they'll crisp up the bottom, and it won't overcook it, it won't over dry it, and it won't make it floppy.
No floppy pizza.
Nobody likes a floppy pizza.
Hashtag no floppy pizza. I'm good, guys. You good?
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Maybe.
tips, Mike. Thank you for just being you, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chef.
Nobody
That is-
plays a better internet chef than me. I'll tell you
Nobody
that
plays a
much.
better internet chef than you. I am Chef. That's fucking Oleg. That's Mike
Cheers.
Spade. This is the Mies and Podcast, Stories from the Dish Pit, episode 12. Holy, episode 12. We'll see you for episode 13. Take it easy.